What up, what up? This is Finance, Fitness, and Folk, a channel where we discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, talk about some folk. So in today's episode, I'm gonna talk about how you can use driving apps as a side hustle. So of course, I'm pretty sure a lot of folks that is watching this video right now are very familiar with driving apps, which are like / delivery apps that present themselves like a cab service, whether it be Uber, Lyft, which are mostly like a cab service. Uber Eats is a food delivery, Grubhub, DoorDash. What else? I think that's only the ones I can think of right now that are food apps. But there's plenty of them, and if you have any free time after work, or if you're not working, this is a very, very easy way for you to make some extra cash, or even make a living for that matter. I've seen some videos where there's some folks out here making a little bit over $3,000 a month driving for apps, multi-apping, which I'll get into a little bit here in the video. It's not just one app they're using, but they're making a pretty decent living. And depending on what your financial lifestyle is, as far as like what your expenses are, I mean, that can really be a pretty easy way for you to make money. Now, I will say that if you're an introvert, the cab service apps like Uber and Lyft may not be your best bet to use for a service. But at the end of the day, if you have to do that, by all means, because we got to come out here and get this money. You know what I'm saying? We can't live off of air and rocks, and we got to make some cash. You know what I mean? So if you got to do that, you got to do that, right? But the food delivery apps are definitely an alternative. I will say that, and don't quote me on this, but I will say that I believe that the cab service apps pay maybe a little bit more than the food delivery, but it all depends on your area as well. Like if you're in a metropolitan area, or like you're in a big city, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get a lot of service, a lot of business. If you're in a very rural area, it might be a little bit sporadic as far as like where your customers are gonna be at. But I will say that it doesn't matter where you're located at, you're gonna be able to make some money off of these apps, because at the end of the day, Americans are very lazy. They don't want to come out here in traffic and deal with getting food or even driving for themselves, for that matter. I know folks that got vehicles and they still take an Uber or Lyft somewhere. It is what it is, you know what I mean? But I did try out Uber Eats, just playing around, just seeing how it was. The process was pretty seamless. I had to, of course, prove that I had a driver's license and insurance. Got to prove that. I want to say that that particular app, and I would bet that most of these apps require you to be 21 in order for you to drive for the apps. And of course, I'm pretty sure there's some legal aspects when it comes to that. But I'm pretty sure it's for the safety of the company itself. They don't want somebody that's under 21 driving for them. So that sucks, but like I said, I'm not sure if that's all of them. So if you're between the ages of 18 and 20, I would suggest you do your own research and make sure that you are very clear about which ones require you to be 21 and which ones that possibly do not require you to be 21. Because this is a great side hustle for college students or young folks to begin with, right? But yeah, so when I signed up for the app, I had to prove that I had a driver's license and insurance. I had to do a background check. So not exactly sure like how in-depth the background check was. I mean, I don't have too much of anything in my background that would disqualify me from pretty much having any type of job when it comes to civil service or working for a company. But who knows? I mean, you may have something in your background. Hopefully you don't. But like I said, I'm not exactly sure how extensive the background check is, but I want to say mine came back within like a week. I do not believe it was more than a week. It might have been like 5 or 6 days, and it came back that it was good to go. Of course, they verified my license and my insurance. Had me take a picture to verify my identity, and then boom, I was good to go. Had to tie in I think I had to tie in a bank card for the actual the payment option for it. But I used it for a couple of days, and I want to say the most I made it a day was like, with tips, I think I made like, it was over 200. It was like maybe 220, 230, something like that. And I wouldn't even drive all day. I think I drove maybe 6 hours, and I made about a little bit over $200. But that was also taking breaks as well. I took a huge break between the morning and the evening. And that's another thing too. Like a lot of these driving app supports, like if you use one yourself, I'm pretty sure that most folks don't use them until dinner time, right? Because they don't want to go out and get dinner. So that's going to be pretty much the prime time for you to use these apps to be able to make the most out of your time for the service you're providing, and to get the most money and the most tips. Yeah, and I want to say another stipulation is I think you have to. I think you cannot have a certain kind of car. Like you couldn't have like a 1970 Chevy or something and do Uber Eats or anything like that. I think you have to have a vehicle that's not that old. Don't quote me on that, but I believe there's a stipulation for like how old your vehicle can be for you to provide the service. So I know that kind of sucks for folks to have older cars, but I guess that's another liability aspect for the particular company itself. But getting back to the app, so I went over Uber Eats, like I said, Lyft, the regular Uber for cab service, Grubhub, DoorDash. They have one called Roadie, which deals with items. So I did use Roadie one time, and Roadie was the same. It was the same process. I had to prove driver's license and insurance. I want to say most of the deliveries I had were from department stores like Bed Bath & Beyond. I had one order from Walmart. I think I had one order from Target. So that particular app actually deals with a lot of department stores, or like I think there was the one time I used it, I had to pick up something from Lowe's. And I will say that Roadie is one of the ones where if you have a pickup truck or like a van, that is very, very profitable. It can be very profitable for you because they deal with a lot of huge ticket items. It's been plenty of times I've been on the Roadie app and they showed like an item that was huge, or they had like, I don't know, I mean, you know, folks could be ordering a grill to be delivered, or a lawnmower, or something like that, something that's huge. And they require you to have a certain size vehicle. Now, I'm not saying you cannot have a sedan and use Roadie, because I do have a sedan, but those were smaller items, so I couldn't pick up the big items. But the big items paid a lot more, right? Because that's not easy. It's you know, they have a somewhat of a time to find drivers to pick up those items, so they're going to pay a little bit more. But you also have to account for the mileage versus how much you're going to be paid, because you don't want to go 60 miles out of your way. I'm just making an example. You don't want to go 60 miles out of your way for like $50. Like the math doesn't add up, right? So you have to weigh how long and how far the item is going to be from you, and then also you have to figure, okay, if I get to the place where I'm picking the item at, how long or how far it's going to take for me to get from that particular place to go to where I'm going to deliver it from. So that's something you got to figure out on your own. But I will say that Roadie is definitely one of those apps where you have to really, really watch the mileage and how far you're going to go out there and pick up items. Because sometimes when I saw like how far the item was, I was like, you got to be kidding me. You're going to have me go this far for this little bit of money? It's crazy. Another one is called CB Driver, which is kind of similar to Roadie from what I can tell. That's one of the apps that I will definitely suggest if you really want to create a transportation business, because they have contracts up there to where like you can actually be contracted to move medical items, medical equipment, medication, just a lot of things on CB Driver, which I've seen a lot of good reviews on. So I think I will do somewhat of a little bit of a deep dive on some of these apps in later videos, but I just want to put this out there to give you some ideas as far as how to make extra money, right? Because At the end of the day, like I said before, side hustles are huge for folks. And I mean, a driving app is just, it's a no-brainer. Like, it is a no-brainer. I mean, like, you can literally get on an app and within a week, you could be right on the road making extra cash for yourself. Too easy, all right? Like, comment, and subscribe. On the road to 100, I'm gonna keep pushing the videos out to make sure that you are giving leverage to better yourself. Finance, fitness, and folk. Triple F, I'm gone.